Hello and welcome to another Stamp Around the UK video hop. My name's Linda Ellis and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and my website is lindaspapercraft.co.uk. So our theme for this month was winter seasons, and I did have all intentions of doing a non-Christmas winter season, but I literally arrived back from holiday last night, so this is what you've got. This is a card. I've been seeing this technique all over the internet, and I have watched several videos. Unfortunately, I can't remember everyone's names of how to do this sort of swirl. So we did this card in my Christmas Crafternoon tea the other week, and it went down very well, and it is surprisingly simple for such an effective card. And so this time what I thought I'd do, this is using the Splendid Days papers, whereas today I'm going to use the Labels Aglow, and I can't remember what the paper's called. So Lights Aglow, and yeah, I've been using it. This is this year's Christmas kit that I've done. So I'm using up what I have left to make this card. So, and basically it's based on 3 circles. So I've used the biggest 3 circles out of Stylish Shapes and cut out 3, one of each, and that's the basis of your card. So I've done that already, and as I say, I'm using up my scraps left over from making all my kits. So there we go. So we've got our 3 circles, and the biggest one you do sort of need to know how big it is. The other 2 you can use your trimmer to work it out, but the biggest one from memory, yes, is 3 inches. So you need to cut it in half, about the 1.5 inches. Now the paper I used for this, it has actually got overlapping Christmas trees, so I have got a sort of bare spot there, but I was thinking if I cut it that way, most of that's going to be covered. Fingers crossed. So I'm just going to get my trimmer and cut the 3 of these in half. So half of 3 is 1.5, obviously. So I'm just going to line that up with the 1.5 inch line here in my trimmer, with my sort of bare bit in the middle. Okay. And then I'm just going to hold that in place and cut it in half. Okay, there we go. Now my next one is roughly just short of, I think it's about 2.25. So if I put that at 1 1/8, so basically what I did by eye was I took it out to the 1 inch, and then it's just a little bit over either side. It's difficult to see because you can't see the 1, but it's almost at 2.5 on both sides. Don't move it. In fact, it's actually just short of 2.4 where it meets the scale. Okay, so, and then I'm just going to cut that in half. So that's the smallest one. And then I'm going to do the biggest one. So again, these 2 had quite, what's the word? The pattern was all over the paper, so I didn't need to look where I was cutting it. So, and this is 2.5, so you want to be at 1 1/4, which is there. So it's slightly going over the 1 1/4, so I'm actually going to do it so it's equally over either side, so I'm in the middle. So I'm using both scales on my trimmer, and there we go. That's the middle, and I'm going to cut that in half as well. So you end up with 3 half circles. Now, my initial thought looking at it was that these 2 pieces were different from each other, but they're not. They are both exactly the same. Once you get your head around it, this is a really easy card to make. So what you're going to do is line all your circles up to the right. So I suppose in theory, could you? To the right? No, you can't. I was thinking in theory you could just put them together and cut them out, but you can't. So you just need to line up all your circles to the right. And because I was having to line up the corner and the sides, I did get my trimmer out again, so which I have just put away. So, and I'm just going to use the lip here. In fact, the trimmer's got loads of lips you can use. You could do it there, you could do it here, it's up to you. So, and I'm going to do the first 3, so I'm going to pop the back one on the trimmer and put the glue, lost my glue, there it is. Put my glue on here, like that. And so I'm going to line it up with this edge here and with the bottom of my trimmer. Okay, so that's lined up there, and then with the bottom of my trimmer, so I know they're in line. And I'm going to do the same with the second one. And I've done this, this designer series paper has got gold on one side and not gold plain on the other. You could use either way, but I really love the gold on this, so I thought I'm just going to show it off. And again, coming in, lining up with the circle underneath and with your trimmer or whatever you're using. So that's one set done. And then you repeat that with the second set. So yeah, and I think this is going to cover up all of that blank, which is brilliant. Because it looks nice when you're on a bigger piece of paper, but on a smaller piece like this, it looks a bit odd that you've got this triangle with no stars on it. So just line that one up. And then the third one, as you can see, I love the bouquet dot on the back. You probably can't see it now, I've covered it in glue, but it's got a little bouquet dot pattern on the back here. So, and then there we go. Yes. For a minute then I thought it'd be hilarious if I've done that all out of view, and then I'm going to have to do it again, which we have done before. Right, okay, so there we are. So we've got 2 semicircles, just the same, all lined up, nearly lined up beautifully. But we are going to cover up the workings of this card. So the next thing you need is some sort of tape. I'm trying to find my sellotape, which seems to have disappeared off the face of the earth. Aha, here we are. Right. And you are going to line these up so that these bits, the middle ones, line up. Okay? So you want those two to line up with each other, and then you get the swirls. Okay? Now I can see why what I'd not thought about is because I've used 3 different colours, whereas this one I used 2 the same, so you get the flow a bit better than you do with this one, but I still like it. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of tape and holding that together, holding it together in midair, just lining those 2 up again. What I'm going to do, this is magic tape so it does come off. Why don't I do it this way? You see, it's all learning. So I'm just lining that up there, and there we go. So I'll basically put it on the bottom piece, put the piece on my grid paper, and then lined up the second one. And as you can see, they don't quite meet there, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be covering that not only with a greeting, but I'm also going to use a ribbon to cover the whole of that join, so you've got them weaving in and out. Okay, so now it's just a case of building the card. So I've got a piece of Very Vanilla here, which is 13.9 by 9.5, and I'm just going to glue these centrally onto the card. I just found it easier to centre if I had the whole thing at once rather than trying to just put one circle then the other. So I'll tell you what, why don't we put that straight, and then if we put the semicircles straight, we will be about there. I do recommend wet glue for this technique, largely because then you can wiggle it about a bit. There we go. Yep. Oops. I only did that by, I never thought to line it up with the crosshairs. But there we go. Okay. So that is the little swirl, and I'm going to use some glue dots to fix the ribbon in the middle, because the ribbon is the sentiment is only very slightly wider than the ribbon. I am going to have to stick the sentiment to the ribbon, and I don't want it wobbling around, so I am going to be putting some glue dots to glue the ribbon to on the front. So hard pokey tool. So I'm just going to pop 2 or 3 glue dots just down in the middle here, where that ribbon is going to be fixed on the sort of joining line. There we go. And the last one. It's gone all stretchy, this one, so I'll put it that way. There we go. Okay, and that way I can then glue the shimmer ribbon across that middle. Let's get it straight again so I can do it straight. You know, you have this grid paper and then you don't use it. Okay, so just glue that down in the middle there, and all that's going to be hidden by the sentiment. Okay, and then I'm just going to get my tear and tape. Just put a little piece there and another piece there so that we can glue the ribbon around the back. Okay, so all of the things I'm using today are available in the current catalogues. And as we're on the 1st of November now, we've only got the current mini catalogue for another couple of months and then it's gone. Okay, so there's one piece around the back and there's the other piece. Okay, so now we've got that ribbon across the middle. I'm just going to lift that one, I think it's a little bit down. There we go. And then instead this one I actually put it straight onto the Sahara Sand card, but this time I'm actually going to use an Evening Evergreen card base, and I'm using another piece of the Designer Series paper. Now this time I am using the plainer side, and that just needs trimming to 10 centimetres. So you got that out of my kit and thought, out of my leftovers, thought, oh, it's about the right size. No. There we go. So that's going to go on first. I just felt the back pattern here was a bit big. It probably wouldn't be seen around the edges of the main very vanilla panel. So that's just got a 1/4 centimetre gap all the way around. There we go. Then I'm going to add this piece. So I hope I get to see some of your cards with this technique on. Nice. It's I love techniques that are really simple but pack a wow, and I think this is one of them. So, and I have seen it done with other shapes as well, with ovals and squares. So you can just see the stars popping out round the outside of that there. And then I'm just going to add some dimensionals on the back of here and add it to the card. So I do think they've chosen this die. This is again out of the Labels of Glow die set just to fit our dimensionals. See, they coordinate everything, that Stampin' Up people. Right, I hope you've enjoyed this, and thank you for staying with me right to the end. There is a link below me, or lots of links below me, for all the people in the description below of everybody who is joining in with the blog hop, the vlog hop even. So if you just look down below, you'll see everyone else's links, and do pop along and see what my colleagues have been doing. They are always gorgeous cards and loads of different ideas. We all have different styles, and it's a really good way of getting to see how different people have interpreted the theme rather. So basically that just now needs a piece of Very Vanilla inside so that you can write on it, and that was the original and that's the new one. And I think that's a lovely, nice, simple card. If you wanted to put some stamping in the corners there, you could, or you could just leave it as it is. Take care. I hope you have enjoyed the rest of the day, and I'll see you next month. Bye.